My name's Emma. I'm from Boston, Massachusetts, and I'm gonna be showing you today how to make a mug cookie. So some things you're gonna need are you're gonna need a mug, you're gonna need some measuring spoons, you're gonna need a spoon, and you're gonna need a knife. A butter knife is fine, it does not have to be crazy sharp. It's only gonna be used to cut your butter. So for ingredients, you're gonna need some butter, you're gonna need an egg, and also you have brown sugar, white sugar, salt, and flour, as well as vanilla extract, which is gonna add some flavor, and whatever type of mix-in you want to put in your cookies. So today, I'm gonna be doing chocolate chips, so I'm gonna use some chocolate chips. So to get started, you first wanna make sure you've washed your hands, because when you cook, it's super important that you keep your hands nice and clean at all times. So then, once you've washed your hands, you're gonna get started by cutting your butter. So you're only gonna need 2 tablespoons of butter. So if you look on the butter, there's these thick lines that are on the bottom, and you're gonna only need 2 little pieces of butter, so 2 lines. So I'm gonna cut that now. You're gonna put the butter into your mug, and then you're gonna pop this in the oven for 30 seconds, just so the butter gets melted. And so while it's in there, you're gonna kind of take a look at whatever else you have to work with. So we have some sugars, which are gonna go in next, and the vanilla extract. So those will be the next things we're gonna add when the butter comes out of the microwave. And we wanna be careful, because when we open the microwave, it's gonna be super, super hot. So you may want a parent to help you with this, just because it could be a little hot on the handle, and you might burn yourself. So be extra careful. Have our butter, and now we're gonna measure out our sugars and vanilla to go in to mix with the butter. So I'm gonna start with my brown sugar. Open this up, and I'm gonna measure 1 tablespoon of brown sugar. So when you measure, it's super important that you level out the top of your measuring spoon, just so you're very exact when you bake. So I'm gonna take our spoon, I'm gonna stick 1 tablespoon, and I'm gonna put it right in the cup. I'm gonna do the same thing with the white sugar. So I'm gonna also do 1 tablespoon of white sugar. Add that into the cup as well. Then we're gonna take a teaspoon, and we're gonna measure out a teaspoon of vanilla extract. Then we're gonna put that also in our cup. So then, we're gonna take our spoon and we're gonna mix it all together. And what's really cool is what makes brown sugar actually brown is an ingredient called molasses. So molasses is a dark brown liquid that looks like a thicker syrup, that when you add it to regular white sugar, it turns it brown and gives it a sweeter flavor. It also helps the sugar stick together more, and it becomes more of a stickier sugar. So that's the difference between brown sugar and white sugar. So, once you've mixed that all up, we're gonna put our mug to the side, and we are gonna crack our egg. So with the egg, we're only gonna need the yolk of the egg, which is the yellow part of the egg. So what you're gonna wanna do is you're gonna wanna crack the egg right on the table, holding the oval. See, if you see the egg is an oval, you're gonna wanna hold it at its 2 oval points. So you're gonna crack it right on the table, just so you see a hole form. You're gonna take your thumbs and you're gonna wanna put them in the egg and open the egg. But before you open it, you want to be careful to not let the yellow yolk fall into the bowl. You only want the white to fall into the bowl. You're gonna open your egg from the side, and you're gonna slowly tilt the egg back and forth to make sure the yolk does not go in the bowl. So once that's all done, you can add the yolk into your mug. So just the yellow. And then we're gonna mix that all up together. And then a trick I've learned is when you're cracking the egg, you wanna make sure you crack the egg on a flat surface, because there's less of a chance that the shell will go into the bowl. So once the egg is all mixed together, you can kind of see it in here like that. we are going to take our flour. We're gonna scoop 3 tablespoons of flour. We take our measuring spoon again, and remember to drag it up the side, or you can also use a knife, the back of a knife, and brush it like this, just to flatten out the scoop. 1, 2, and now we're also gonna add some salt. So the salt, you're gonna use 1/8 of a teaspoon of salt, which basically is equivalent to a small pinch of salt. I'm gonna do a small pinch. I'm gonna take a little pinch, I'm gonna add it in there, just like that. And then you can mix that all up together, and you're gonna start to see that a little cookie dough is going to form. It's gonna be a little softer than your average cookie dough that looks maybe a little harder, but it's gonna solidify more in the microwave when we cook it again. So once all of that is all mixed together, it should look like this. It's very yellow. Now, what you're gonna do is you're gonna take whatever mix-in you want to add to your cookie, and you're gonna add it in before you pop it into the microwave. So today I'm gonna use some chocolate chips, but you can also do white chocolate chips or sprinkles or coconut, or you can cut up your favorite candy bar and add that in, like a Twix bar or Reese's or whatever you'd like. You can kind of customize it however you want. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna take a tablespoon of whatever mixing you want. A tablespoon to 2 tablespoons, it depends. Tablespoon is if you want not so much of your mix-in and more cookie, and if you want more mix-ins, I would add 2 tablespoons. I'm gonna take a tablespoon, add it in there, and now we're gonna mix that all together. So the mix-in should start to mix just like that. And it should look like this. So it still looks pretty liquidy. So what we're gonna do is now we're gonna pop this into the microwave for around 1.5 to 2 minutes. It depends. So when you add it in, you're gonna wanna be careful. You're gonna start your timer for around 1.5 minutes to start. And while that's baking, you wanna remember that when this comes out, the mug is gonna be extra, extra hot because it's been in a hot microwave. So you're probably gonna want a parent to help you take your mug out of the microwave. But it should be to check if the cookie's all done. What you're gonna wanna do is you're gonna wanna take a knife or a spoon or even a toothpick, and you're gonna wanna poke it into the cookie. And if it comes out pretty clean, then it's done. The only reason why it would look a little liquidy maybe is if there's a melted chocolate chip or something like that inside of it that clearly looks like the mixed ingredient rather than the cookie itself. And you'd be able to tell that with a parent's help as well. So our cookie is finishing up. You can start to also prep what you're gonna put on top of your cookie. So when the cookie comes out, you can let it cool for a little bit, and then you can add whatever type of topping you want. Sometimes you can add more chocolate chips, you could add whipped cream, you could add ice cream, whatever you want. So today I'm gonna add some ice cream. So I have some cookies and cream ice cream, and I'm gonna get ready to scoop that on top of my cookie. You can do that by adding ice cream. What can actually happen is it can help the cookie cool down a bit and be easier to eat. Rather than it being super, super hot, it will be a cooler way to cool down your cookie. It's like if you dip a cookie into milk. It's the same thing. Grab a spoon for that. I'm gonna grab our cookie. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put a hot glove on to take this out. Just because it'll be a little hot. And so we have our cookie. What you're gonna do is I'm gonna take my knife, I'm gonna dip it in there, and it came out clean. The only thing you see is that chocolate, which I explained already. So you guys can see the cookie. Looks like this. It looks great, super yummy. And now I'm gonna take some ice cream. This is cookies and cream. I'm gonna do a little scoop. I'm gonna put it right on top of the cookie. You can already start to see as I immediately add it, you can see the smoke coming up and the ice cream melting the cookie. So you can see I added that right there, just like that. And you can add however much ice cream you want. It's really up to you. It's like a little cookie sundae. So that cools a little bit. I'm gonna let it cool for a few seconds. The ice cream is gonna help it cool down a bit so it's easier to eat because it's gonna be super hot. It's very similar like if you make cookies at home and you take them out of the oven, you don't wanna eat them right away because they're gonna be super, super hot and burn the roof of your mouth. It's the same thing with a mug cookie. It's just a smaller version. I sometimes like to make mug cookies when I'm just making it for myself and maybe not everyone else wants a cookie, because it's an individual sized cookie. So I could eat this all in one sitting rather than making a bunch of cookies that might go to waste or you might have to save for later. This is easier because you can have one if you only want one. And so now that it's cooled a bit, you can dip your spoon in there. You can see the cookie and some ice cream. Super good, super yummy. It's still really hot, but it's perfect because the ice cream helps cool it down. So, as you can see, we made mug cookies today. I hope you learned something and I hope you enjoyed watching this video. Bye!